feel better in here.
Okay, we have our Coors Light pole winner for the 18th running of the Brickyard 400 presented by BigMachineRecords.com here tomorrow at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And David Ragan is our Coors Light pole winner for tomorrow's race. And this weekend he is driving the number 6 UPS Hall of Fame Ned Jarrett Ford. It's a replica of the 1965 Ford that Ned Jarrett drove to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Championship. And we're pleased to be joined by David, who is our pole sitter and also Hall of Famer, Ned Jarrett. David, congratulations on the Coors Light pole, your second pole of the season. You won one back at Texas back in April, and certainly continuing the resurgent season that you wanted to have. Talk about leading the pack tomorrow at the Brickyard.
Yeah, it'll be cool to lead the pack tomorrow. People will notice our bright blue car maybe a little easier up front than it would back in the middle of the pack. But I knew we had a shot at the pole when we unloaded in qualifying trim on Friday. Our car was fast. We spent a little extra time today in race trim because I didn't think we were that great. And didn't really know what to expect for qualifying today. Drew made a few small adjustments. Just tried to hit my marks, not do anything crazy. I knew we'd have a shot at a top 5 or top 10 run for sure. So I just wanted to be a little conservative and hit my marks, and everything did what it needed to do, and we wound up on top. So it's an honor to be here and to be the fastest guy at Indy. This is a great track. Any type of accomplishments you get here is cool, and I couldn't be more happy to have Ned here sitting beside me, and glad we lived up to what I told him. I told him we were going to be good this weekend, so I'm glad we were able to step up to the game and do it.
Thank you, David. And Ned, it's got to feel good that number 6 Ford, that blue Ford, Hall of Fame Ford, will be out front tomorrow for the start of the Brickyard 400 presented by
This is truly an unexpected bonus as far as I'm concerned coming here this weekend, and being honored by David and the UPS crew on the number 6 Ford, and then he goes out and wins the pole. It was those white wheels and the blue color. That's what
right.
did
That's what did it. Well, maybe we'll talk him into keeping this car for next week.
Yeah,
so
okay.
We'll
Sounds good. I won a few poles in a car that color, but they were on dirt tracks most of the time, not on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Okay, we'll take questions now for either David or Ned. If you have one, raise your hand. We'll bring you the wireless. We'll start right here on the front row.
David, Sam King, Lafayette Journal and Courier. Did you have some extra motivation just hanging around Ned this weekend and driving that car, and motivation going into tomorrow to kind of live up to, a Hall of Famer or a legend in the sport?
Well, we possibly can't try any harder than we've been trying all year, but absolutely, we want to do good for all the Ned Jarrett fans, for all the NASCAR Hall of Fame famers that are represented in not only this year's class but in years to come. I think this is something that is great that UPS and Ford and the NASCAR Hall work together to make happen, and glad that we can give it a good run. That's what we're here to do, and it makes it extra special to have Ned here, a little something different, and I have high expectations for tomorrow as well. So it's good to get that pole today, but our focus is on tomorrow.
Kenny in the back row. Go ahead.
Kenny Bruce, SceneDaily.com. David, it may seem like a little thing, but did you learn anything from starting on the pole at Texas that you'll think about tomorrow?
Well, I'm not going to change lanes before the start-finish line. That's the first thing I'm not going to do. And then I realize how good it is to have that good clean air from the get-go. At Texas, we started off the race, and we weren't that great, but we were able to run in the top 5 all night long just because we had the number 1 stall and we had good clean air. And that's kind of unfair that a guy running 15th may really have a better car than us, but because we're up there, we can stay and we can fight. So it gives us encouragement tomorrow that when they drop the green flag, even if we lose 5 spots at the beginning of the run, we're still going to be 5th. So that gives us some extra confidence. Gives my pit crew confidence that they can be aggressive on pit road, that I can come in the box hard. I don't have to worry about leaving and passing people on pit road. I can just shoot straight off. So there's so many pros that come with having that nice clean air. And, you lead the field of green. You know what you got to do from the front row, but it gives you a little extra confidence, just saying, hey, even if we struggle tomorrow, we've still got a leg up on everyone.
Go ahead, sir.
David, Bill Kramer, Racing Roundup Show. Everyone had confidence in you to get to this level, but what happened this year? What clicked that made this year so much different?
We had better race cars, and I could, Drew Blickensdorfer and I knew how to work on them to get them to where they were comfortable. Same thing that we had in the end of 07 and 08. I think I wasn't mature enough and made too many mistakes my first couple of years when I was 19 and 20 years old that kept us from winning races. And then I was ready to win some races in 09 and 10, and our cars weren't as good, our engines weren't as good, and I was forced to overdrive. I made more mistakes. We went through a couple of crew chief changes, and then finally Drew and I are together at the end of last year, and we see things in the same direction. All the Roush Fenway cars have got the new FR9 engine. We've got better race cars, and it's just a world of difference.
Go ahead, ma'am.
David, Holly Blake with Motor Racing Digest. Casey came in and said that he had a really good lap. So he said you must have had a really good lap. He said that you always want a cloud, and we know how this track is and what the weather does to it. But can you just talk about how your lap felt, and then also just congratulations. I think it's very cool that you have the pole with him being Grand Marshal, too. Thanks.
It was a good lap. I did make a mistake, and I wasn't as aggressive as I wanted to be, but I told myself we had a good car and had a shot to set on the pole at Vegas, and I wound up backwards on the back straightaway, and I didn't want to let that happen again. So I knew that if I just hit my marks and ran a conservative lap, I could be in the top 5. So it was, just a good lap. Maybe I'll remember that for next time. Maybe that's a trick of getting around here. But I hit my marks. I was on the throttle hard. I could feel the engine pulling hard off the corners, and was happy. The car did everything I wanted it to do. So they did a nice job adjusting on it.
Go ahead.
Bruce Martin with SportsIllustrated.com. David, I know that race drivers don't like to look too far ahead, but how do you keep from looking ahead at the prospect that you're going to be in the chase?
Yeah, there's just so many. I think about that, and I want to get happy, but then I look to my left, and I see Boyer. I look to my right, and I see, Greg Biffle and Montoya and this one in the garage, and so that puts me back down to reality pretty quick. There's a lot of good race car drivers around me, a lot of good teams, and we can't get confident that we're just going to get in because we've got to win or we've been running well, because guess what? Those guys are running good too. So we've got to keep working hard. This is things that we need to do to make the chase. We can make the chase, no doubt about it. So we're prepared for the fight and can't wait.